NXT UK comes to Phoenix, and this review is several weeks late, isn't it? Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, here with your, let's look at the date, February 13th, 2019 NXT UK review. Now, I will say, hand on heart, the week that this happened, I wasn't able to do it. I didn't have the time to do it. I figured I would go into the following week and just give you two in one. Some other topical videos came up, some other stuff personally, socially came up as well. Wanted to keep getting up the regular NXT reviews because they are sort of the flagpole of this channel right now, and let's be reasonable for a second. A lot more people watch that than watch the UK reviews. I know the UK brand doesn't have as much of an audience as regular NXT does, so then we had a domino effect where for several weeks I just didn't get around to this because I had put something else in front of it, something else in front of it, something else in front of it. But I did say eventually I would get caught up. Eventually I would, go back and talk about it. Never mind that, go back and watch them, because I hadn't even had a chance to watch them, because NXT UK, because of the time difference and whatnot, NXT UK happens literally while I'm coming home from work. So it's a matter of TiVoing it, going back, watching it, if I have time to, before regular NXT comes on. Now, a lot of you are saying, well, it comes on after NXT as well, but it doesn't always here. I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, we are in Phoenix because this is back around Royal Rumble time. We are at the Access. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. We are at Access, which is really interesting for filming because for the most part it feels like you're in a small arena until they shoot the one side that's sort of open into the rest of the convention hall, and it's not to be cliche, but it is literally like a fourth wall break to remind you where they are. The crowd is different. Obviously, you don't get the typical UK chants that you get, but you can see in the American crowd that the people in the UK division that are supposed to be over are over. Case in point, Toni Storm, the new NXT UK Women's Champion, comes out and says, "At Evolution, I won the Mae Young Classic. At TakeOver Blackpool, I won the UK title. I knew Ripley would want a rematch. Ripley is nothing more than a bully, and I'm a fighting champion. I've kicked her ass, and I'll gladly do it again for you people." Obviously, big crowd, big reaction for the fight that they're going to see in a couple weeks, which is probably like an hour from now. Ripley comes out, interrupts her, says, "At TakeOver, you got lucky. I'm the first ever UK Women's Champion. You can't change that. I'm sick and tired of people always comparing me to you. I'm sick and tired of hearing about Tony time. I hate you, and I hate that you have my title." And before she can ramble on any farther, Toni Storm basically cuts her off, says, "We've already talked enough," hits her with a double leg takedown. They brawl for a little bit, and Ripley bails. Now, this was a nice, it was as cliche as you can get, but at the same time, it was really nice to just have the whole, I'm the champion, I'm the challenger, this is what you're getting later on tonight, bit of a scrap to give everybody a taste of what's to come, and we move on. Now, for a crowd at Access, who I imagine, I've never been to Access, so you can tell me down in the box below, do you have to buy separate tickets for this shit, or do you just sort of wander in and wander out? It would be, if it's a wandering thing, it's a great way to say, hey, look at us now, come back later, we're gonna fight. Sorry, my chair's doing a thing, you guys know how it is. Jordan Devlin versus NOAM DAR is up next. Now, Kristen and I did a video a couple of days ago. You guys can go check it out. It's one of the topical videos. It's one of the off-the-cuff series. But we sort of diverted off talking about Finn Balor, Jordan Devlin, the Blackpool pay-per-view and all that sort of thing, and how similar Jordan Devlin is to Finn Balor. So to see him go up against NOAM DAR again is fucking great. And we all know in the background, Kiwi Buzzsaw Travis Banks is there wanting to get his hands on Jordan Devlin because he missed his pay-per-view opportunity. Now, so Jordan Devlin versus NOAM DAR, collar and elbow type, and Devlin works the arm. There's a reversal by DAR, a wrist lock takedown by Devlin, and a hip toss by DAR, side headlock by DAR, a trip and a tornado backslide DDT, armbar by DAR, a side slam moonsault combination by Devlin. What he does when he basically goes into that, what's it like? It's like when Abyss used to do the black hole slam, but the fact that he turns it immediately into a moonsault shows the dexterity, flexibility, all those kinds of things. I really like Jordan Devlin. Jordan Devlin can come up to the main roster tomorrow. I really don't care. Devlin and Balor could be tag team champions. It would be great, but that's just one of my hot takes. Forearms by DAR and a punt to the midsection by Devlin. Snap vertical by Devlin. Surfboard stretch with a post by Devlin. Both men trade strikes. Devlin face plants the second rope. Headbutts DAR. Forearm in the corner. Vertical suplex toss by DAR is fucking brilliant. It's that whole the detachment in the suplex just makes you feel as the fan for a split second like, oh, he's gonna land wrong. Oh no, he didn't. Apron trip by DAR. DAR kicks the steps, and DEVLIN tries to trap him in the steps, but he tries to trap his leg in the steps and then just do like some typical maniacal, like between the steps and the post type of idea. But Travis Banks is down the ramp for the save. DEVLIN rolls up with the feet on the ropes, but his feet are tossed off by Banks. A quick enziguri by Banks off the apron, and there's a quick roll up by DAR for the win. So, NOAM DAR, who I think is great and greatly underutilized within the company. I wish he would just go over back to the UK division, because as far as I've heard, I haven't watched 205 Live in a while. I don't think they're using him very much on 205 Live. Somebody, again, correct me down in the box below if I'm wrong, but I would love to see NOAM DAR go down and have a long drawn-out feud with DEVLIN, even if it doesn't take us to the next pay-per-view, or you get the three of these guys in a triple threat match. Post-match assault by DEVLIN and DAR. They brawl around the ring for a little bit, and it just sort of ends on them brawling. It is weird having it in the convention center, because you do see the ring, you do see the mats outside the ring, but around the mats you do see like the carpeting of the convention center, and it's all like the weird swirly classy designs and all that. So that part of it's a little bit weird, takes you out a little bit, because they're brawling on convention hall carpet, which is not a typical wrestling aesthetic, is it? In 2 weeks from now, which I say funnily because I don't know when I'm going to get these reviews up, we're going to see Walter versus Cassius Ohno, and I hope Cassius Ohno dies. Show's already happened. You guys probably know. I'm the only one that doesn't. Whatever. And next week we get the reminder that we're getting Ripley versus Storm. JINNY takes on Mia Yim. Now this is where they started playing up a couple weeks ago. Well, several weeks ago, that this was their opportunity to prove themselves to the regular NXT brand. It was going to be NXT versus NXT UK. It's going to be brand warfare, as Raw and SmackDown would tell you. On a side note, I know that some people are sick of the Survivor Series, Raw versus SmackDown, because really it's all just main roster WWE, and the tread has been done over and over and over again. I still say when UK has established itself a little bit more, they do need to do a takeover bragging rights between the two brands. That's just my opinion. Let me know down in the box below what you think. Let me know what matches you guys would want to see in a takeover bragging rights pay-per-view or special event, because they're not called pay-per-views. Rah. But JINNY versus Mia Yim, I love Mia Yim. You guys know this. JINNY is struggling to make headway with me personally, but that doesn't take anything away from the fact that she's a great wrestler. She's very Bianca Belair in that regard. Collar and elbow tie up and a headlock snapmare by JINNY. Grounded head scissor headlock by Mia Yim. Front face lock by JINNY. Reverse armbar by JINNY. And what she does, she's got her in the armbar, and I don't know whether you guys can see my arm. Probably not, because my camera's in a really stupid spot. But basically, while she's got her in the armbar, she's got her hands like digging fingernails into the exposed meat of her bicep. I thought that was a nice, neat little touch. It's like I always go back to Pete Dunne and the joint manipulation in the fingers and whatever, but it's a little thing that will get our attention a lot more than a big thing. It's a less is more, and it's just, you're a little dirty, you're a little devious, and I'll give her credit for that. That was really good. Pinning reversal sequence and a boot by JINNY. Head scissor attempt by JINNY. Yim cartwheels out and gives her a little bit of a smirk, a little bit of a attitude check there. Hard forearm by JINNY. Double leg and mounted punches by Yim. Facebuster on the turnbuckle by JINNY, hitting her face right into the second turnbuckle there, followed by a quick pin attempt that fails. Scissor kick by JINNY. A standing side headlock. Full body surfboard by JINNY, and a tarantula by Mia Yim. Nice to see Mia Yim pulling out the tarantula. That was really good. Neckbreaker by Yim. Forearms and a lariat. Boot by Yim. Corner chops and a cannonball. German suplex into the turnbuckles by Yim was pretty fucking dirty, but JINNY quickly pulls out a roll-up, rolls her up with the feet on the ropes. Nobody catches it except everybody in the audience. JINNY gets the win. Referee gets to look a bit dumb, which is fine. And technically, it is an NXT UK show, so I don't entirely mind the NXT UK representative winning. But this is, again, why I say do the takeover bragging rights thing, where everybody's on equal footing and you don't have a reasoning like that. Because Mia Yim, in my personal, humble, and incredibly biased opinion, should have won this match. Coffee Brothers are going to take on Andrews and Webster next week, aka whenever I get the next video up. And your main event for the evening is Wolfgang taking on Pete Dunne. Now, this is an interesting thing because they're shifting how Gallus works. Because for a long time, it was Mark Coffey and Wolfgang that were the tag team, and Joe Coffey was the singles guy. Now you've got Wolfgang going for the singles title against Pete Dunne, which is awesome. I like Wolfgang. And then you've got the Coffey brothers being the proverbial tag team next week to take on Andrews and... can't think of his name now. I just threw the paper away. Webster. There we go. We start off the match by Wolfgang tossing his coat at Dunne. Also, you see them doing the stare down. And obviously there's a big size disparity between Wolfgang and Pete Dunne. It really does set the table for later on when I'm pretty sure we're going to get Pete Dunne taking on Walter, who's even bigger. So Pete Dunne staring down the much bigger guy and proving that he's not afraid. I like Pete Dunne in the sense that he's not a babyface because he's a nice guy. He's not a babyface because he does nice things or does things in a particularly nice way. He's only a good guy because we like him and because whoever he's facing is a bigger dick than him. And that's really close to real life sometimes if you think about it, and it's kind of poetic. Wolfgang starts the match by tossing his coat at Dunne. What's his name? Guinness on commentary, or sorry, McGuinness, rather, not Guinness, that's beer. Makes a big point of like explaining the disrespect of tossing the thing, which is kind of obvious, but at the same time for the commentary to pick up on it was really, really good. Stiff collar and elbow, and Wolfgang works the arm. Quick takedown by Dunne and an overhand wrist lock. Armbar takedown by Dunne. Forearm knockout by Wolfgang, knocks him in the face. I can't read my own writing. That's a problem. Face lock with a post by Wolfgang and a lariat by Dunne. Boot by Dunne. Low drop kick, right hand, and an ankle lock. Beat down outside the ring by Wolfgang, clubbing him in the chest several times. Dunne takes down Wolfgang, takes down the much bigger man by working the fingers, and then does the whole working the fingers to working the wrist to working the arm and the elbow and the shoulder, etc. The progression of how he does it, and it's not even it's not like, okay, here I'm going to work your finger for a little while, then your wrist. He transitions from the finger to the wrist to the arm to the elbow to the shoulder in such a quick and fluid way, and it's so unique. I think it's why we like Pete Dunne. It's why everybody else that focuses their attack style in that sort of joint manipulation style, everybody automatically makes the comparison to Pete Dunne, because I think, and I mean, I don't know every single British wrestler, but I think within the WWE UK umbrella, I think Pete Dunne really does set the standard for that style of taking somebody apart. Anyways, enough rambling on that. Series of punches by Dunne and an enziguri and a kick to the face. X-plex by Dunne on the apron, working the fingers and stomping the face some more. One arm powerbomb by Wolfgang is nice because his other hand's been worked on and all that. And then he hits him with a modified suplex of some description. I think he landed on like his elbow and his face. I don't know what to call it. I'm sorry. Running enziguri by Dunne and a top rope superplex, which is nice on the much bigger guy. Once again, size does not conquer all, says Pete Dunne. Dunne stomps on the hands some more, kicks him in the face, and hits him with some chomps. Gutbuster by Wolfgang, 2 knees right to the gut, but his senton misses, and Pete Dunne wins with an armbar. Doesn't win with the joint manipulation per se, doesn't win with the X-plex or the bitter end, wins with an armbar, which is kind of anticlimactic in a way, but also it sets the stage for whoever his next challenger is. It's like, hey, don't think I'm a 1 or 2 or 3 trick pony. This was a decent episode. I mean, as I say, I would have liked to see YIM get the win, but again, I can understand why she didn't. The DAR and Devlin and Banks thing is an interesting little story. We got the setup for the girls that are going to rematch for the women's championship. That's going to be good. And the main event was great. I mean, I'm sorry to say this because I like the guy, but you knew Wolfgang wasn't going to win the title here. This was just go in there and make a good showing, and he did. And Pete Dunne got to go in there and say, this is what I can do to somebody who's making a good showing. And Pete Dunne's fucking awesome. Toni Storm is our other champion, who's fucking awesome. We didn't have the tag team champions on here today with the Grizzled Young Vets, but I'm sure we'll see them very, very soon. Twitter, interestingly enough, blowing up with not Travis Banks, Drake and Gibson getting the side plates on their belts, and Toni Storm finally getting the side plates for her belt, which is a nice, neat little thing. It does leave Pete Dunne out in the lurch a little bit, but I mean, he has already had his side plates because he's had that belt for like 650 days or something like that. I like this show. It was really good. It's from about 4 weeks ago, so I hope you guys are at least somewhat enjoying the review. That's all I've got to say. I've been Spaz, your YWC reality check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I am tagging out. Bye, guys. So shut if you're a freak like me.